Hi guys, so yeah, today I'm actually moving around the game room and some stuff's happening, so I'm going to have to empty the whole cabinet in a minute and move literally everything in the game room over the next couple of days, so it's going to be chaos. So I thought I'll get what little pile of pickups I have out the way now. So today's what, 14th of August? I don't know when this video is actually going to be uploaded, I don't know when you're going to see it. But I need to clear it all out, so I thought, yeah, let's just crack on and get rid of all this stuff. So just not much here, but bits and bobs I've picked up, a couple of bits from events as well. So firstly would be Blackpool. So I didn't really buy anything in Blackpool until the Sunday, and I bought a couple of cheap Game Gear games. So I got Chakan and Streets of Rage 2. I've been after Streets of Rage 2 for a while, just sort of loose cart to play until I find a box one for a reasonable price. So they were like, what, £8 for the pair, I think, so not too bad. So that's all I spent in the whole event over the weekend. But I did get a gift, which is balls from Gav from Retro Heads. So that's balls on the Mega Drive. Balls 3D, the Battle of the Balls, which is like some dodgy fighting game. But I haven't actually played it yet. I think I played it a couple of years ago once, but I can't really remember what it was like. So yeah, cheers for that, Gav. Blackpool was awesome. I just heard this morning that Blackpool's now 10th and 11th of February next year, so only like 6 months or so in between the two, so that's interesting. Little random pickup here, something that I've been meaning to buy for ages, and it's one of those 3-in-1 plugs for the Mega Drive. So you just have the one plug plugged in and it powers your Mega Drive, Mega CD and 32X all in one. So as you can imagine, plugs are at a premium in this room at the moment. There's just so many consoles set up, and the 2 TVs and everything, and the arcade cab, so it's just plug central. So yeah, jumped at the chance to be able to save a couple of plugs by buying that. If I can remember, I'll leave a link in the description to the guy who sells those plugs. It's somewhere in Europe, maybe France. I can't remember how much they are, 20 quid roughly, but yeah, it's worth it. They're really, really good. You know, save yourself some plug space. These were from Damo, who's one of the other admins on Galaxy Sega, who also runs Sega Mega Mods. Now, he did me a couple of bits. He's done me some really nice Police Noughts discs. Now, I have a Police Noughts in there repro. If you saw my pickup video from before, if I just dig it out. And Damo also did me a repro Police Noughts, but this was the one from Ben Boyd, which didn't have any discs. So Damo very kindly did me some of these discs, and these are like his new printers. They're like really, really good quality prints on the disc. Look amazing. They've got like sort of metallic effects and stuff, and yeah, they're just stunning. So really chuffed to get that. He also chucked in a little repro of Half-Life on the Dreamcast for me, which is awesome. And yeah, in an unrelated package from Damo, he sent me this because he got some other new printing stuff for his mugs and that. So he sent me a brand new Galaxy Sega mug, which is awesome. Printing's awesome. Oh, it's got my name on it. I didn't even realise it's got my name on it there. That's awesome, dude. And yeah, Galaxy Sega mouse mat as well. So yeah, cheers Damo, much appreciated. That's all awesome, dude. Yeah, I'll leave a link to Sega Mega Mods in the description. He does some really, really cool repro stuff and other bits and bobs if you're into your Sega stuff. Very random pickup. Motocross Maniacs manual for the Game Boy. This is the last item I needed to complete my childhood Game Boy collection. So now I have every game I had as a kid on the Game Boy complete. Really nice condition. So yeah, it was just annoying me that my Motocross Maniacs didn't have a manual, and I've been trying to pick one up for ages. Constantly messaging sellers who are like selling cart and manual on eBay and saying, will you just sell the manual and blah blah blah. And in the end, a bundle came up on Facebook, and it was 4 I think it was 4 games cart and manual for the Game Boy, including this. So I sold the 4 games and the other 3 manuals, and ended up getting this for a few quid. So I was chuffed to do that finally and complete the childhood Game Boy set, which I really should show you guys in a separate video at some point, my childhood Game Boy set, if I get around to it. Oh, this is another Blackpool one. This is a gift from Chris Novabug. I think it was from some sub competition a while back, but I forget. Maybe it was his 1000 sub competition. But yeah, cheers for that, Chris. That's awesome. So that's obviously a black VMU for the Dreamcast. This one I picked up, I think it was a few days before Blackpool, and someone on Facebook was saying, oh, have you played this game, and showing me some gameplay of it. They just picked it up, and I hadn't, and it's a shooter that I'd not heard of called Steel Dragon for the PS2. Yeah, I haven't actually played this yet, but I've got this week off, so I'll probably start getting through some of these. But it looks awesome, kind of bullet hell shooter, vertical. Looks right up my street. So I think I snagged this on Facebook. Funnily enough, we were talking about it, and the next day it popped up on Facebook. It was under a tenner, I forget how much, but it's not an expensive game on eBay. If you are interested, you want to grab it. Sorry, my camera battery died there, just had to swap it over. So yeah, another eBay purchase. I always look for Mega CD games if I can find them cheap, and yeah, this one popped up $4.99. Posted, so I grabbed it. It's FIFA. It's actually FIFA and like FIFA 95, the first 2 are probably the only ones that I've really enjoyed. Not played the Mega CD version, so I'd imagine it's very similar to the Mega Drive version. But yeah, chuffed to get that for a £5, all complete. We got a couple of modern pickups here because these popped up, same seller on Facebook. Now this is a while back. How much do they cost me? Something like 28 quid for the pair, which is really good, or it was good at the time, I'm not sure now. But both sealed, so got Dishonored 2, loose disc in there. But yeah, really wanted to play Dishonored 2. I don't particularly like paying too much for modern games, because I might as well wait until they're a bit cheaper and grab them. So I think that worked out about 8 quid. Which is great. I played the first Dishonored, absolutely loved it, so really excited to play the second one. I'm not particularly good at them, but I do enjoy them. And then we got Wipeout Collection, which has got the like retro sort of styled sleeve, and that's sealed as well, so quite keen to have a bash on this. So yeah, that worked out about 8 quid, and this was about 20 quid, which is really good price for the time. I'm not sure what they go for now, it was a couple of months ago. And yeah, we just got Wipeout HD Fury and Wipeout 2048 basically merged into one with some other tracks, is what I believe this is. But big fan of Wipeout, so it was a no-brainer to grab this. This was eBay again, popped up Buy It Now really cheap, and I thought, I don't know if it's my kind of game, you know, but I thought I'm going to grab it and I'm going to give it a play, and if it's not for me I can move it on because it was so cheap. I'm not going to lose money on it. It's Rockman X3. I don't think I've ever played any of the Rockman X games on the Saturn. I've played 1 or 2 on the Super Nintendo, but yeah, it looks cool. I heard X3 isn't as good as X4. X4's the one to get, but we'll see, won't we? I'll give it a bash. I was never that good at Mega Man. Played a lot of Mega Man 2 back in the day on the NES, but it's never that good, so we'll give it a bash. And probably this week, now I've got the week off, like I said, once I've got the game room all moved around and settled, I'll be playing some games for the rest of the week. Another eBay purchase. This was cheap, but I forget how much. But it's another thing that I always look out for, Neo Geo Pocket games. So we've got Neo Geo Cup 98 Plus, which is a football game. I really don't know what kind of football game this is. Doesn't give much away. It looks like someone taking a penalty is the only screenshot. Yeah, it doesn't really say much about it, but yeah, I'd imagine it's a generic football game. But you know, some of the Neo Geo football games I really like. I've never played one, I don't think, on the handheld, the Neo Geo Pocket, but we shall see. Right, this one, this must have been Facebook, and it was cheap because I've been after this game for a couple of years actually, but it was always like hovering around 20 quid, and I was like, I don't want to pay 20 quid for it. I'll wait until it's like under a tenner, and I've seen it a couple of times for a tenner, so this must have been a fair bit under a tenner. But it's complete. It's Cooking Mama 4 on the 3DS. Now, you know, this game's styled as like a kids game, which it is, I suppose, but it is just so much fun. It's basically like little mini games. It reminds me a little bit of Bishy Bashy Special, but you use the touchscreen and everything, and you've got the mini games, and you have basically if you never played a Cooking Mama game, you have a recipe and you go through the stages of making it. So if it's a cake, you know, you mix the thing and you mix the batter or the whatever, and then you know, you're putting the icing on, and you're doing all the stages of making a cake, and you're pressing different buttons or doing different things with the touch screen to actually make the cake. So it makes each stage of making the cake a little mini game. So yeah, you just go through tons of recipes, and it's just fun. I really like it. Definitely worth checking out if you've got 3DS. Cooking Mama 4, it's pretty cheap now, I believe. But yeah, the Cooking Mama 4 is the only 3D one, I believe. The other previous ones, 1 to 3, were on the DS, but still great fun. What we got here? I believe this was from Mr. Andy Hug, 8-bit Andy, and yeah, he had a load of games he was selling off, and he asked me. I think he asked me something unrelated, or he asked me if I wanted any, and I said definitely want this, because I've been after this. Again, this is something I've been after for years and just never saw in good enough condition at the right price, or you know, I was too late or whatever. But I'm not really one to think, oh, I really want that game, I'll go out and I'll pay top dollar for it on eBay, even though I could do that any time. But I'll play the long game, and yeah, this popped up. I was chuffed to get this. Sonic and Knuckles. The hang tab thing is a little bit worn, as to be expected, but the box is actually, you know, it's good enough for me. It's really nice nick, and then it's got a really minty manual. I mean, that manual is really crisp, and you got the tray in the game. So yeah, cracking price Andy did me on that. I was really chuffed to get that. Just chuffed to get it into the collection, really, because I love like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but you know, I've been without a copy of Sonic and Knuckles for a good while now. And the other game Andy did me quite a bit later on, this is probably a couple of months later, that Andy messaged me, I think we might have got talking on a stream, like maybe one of Chris Retro Head streams, just chatting that Andy was getting rid of some NES games, and I just sort of said, oh, do you have this game? Because this is the, you know, I collect loose cart NES, and I've only got a tiny little pile of them because I've only got nostalgia for very few NES games from when I was a kid, really, and that was on my friend's NES, and we had a handful of games, and he had Mega Man 2, he had Double Dribble, which I have, V-Spike Super Volleyball, or whatever it's called, which I have as well. A few games, but yeah, this is the game that's probably, you know, one of the most nostalgic for me as a kid, and one that I wanted boxed. Probably the only one I wanted boxed, because the box art is just so nostalgic to me, and that is Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Brothers 3. Really nice nick. It's in a Sentinel case, but it is, you know, it's pretty flawless. There's like a tiny little ding there, but you know, for all intents and purposes, I mean, because it's going to sit on the shelf, you're going to see that. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it might as well be mint as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it's the US version, it's NTSC-U, and you can see, as Retro Dave told me after I bought it, that because the Brothers is there, it's a misprint. So the Super Mario Brothers should go in that yellow gap above Mario's hat, but they did misprint some where it was over here, over his hand. Not that I particularly care, but apparently it's slightly rarer version, which I wasn't aware of. But yeah, Super Mario Brothers 3, I mean, it's arguably the best game on the NES, and it's certainly one that I played a lot and have really great memories of, so really happy to get that in nice condition boxed for the collection. Right, last eBay one. This one I bought from Canada. Now this popped up, buy it now, best offer, I think. And what did it work out as? It worked out as something like 20-25 quid. It was mental cheap, because this game isn't cheap. And it's not one I had as a kid, but it's one that I've played quite a bit recently, and I always thought I'd like a copy of that. And it's Shinobi 3. Now this is a great game. I was actually playing this the other day. You know, just thought I'd have a quick blast on it. I ended up spending ages on it. It's such a good game. The music's fantastic, and the gameplay is just spot on. It's probably, I mean, it's up there with Shadow Dancer for my favourite Shinobi game. It might even be my favourite Shinobi game, this one. It's so good. Unfortunately, it has no manual, but I'm not overly bothered when it comes to Mega Drive. You don't play the manual, as they say, and it, you know, this game goes 60 quid or whatever complete, and I was chuffed to get it for like 20-25 quid, shipped over from Canada, so can't moan at all, can you? And yeah, it's really nice nick. It's PAL, yeah, PAL version. I don't know if the person used to live in Europe or UK and they moved over to Canada, which is likely. And then last of all, guys, I think we've got a load of pickups from Doncaster. So what's today? Monday. So Saturday I was in Doncaster for the market. Went up with Lee Retro Chef, who very kindly drove and picked me up, and Scott Sega Saturn lads. So we made the 3-hour or so drive up there, and yeah, good to see everyone. I won't name names, but there was loads of people up there. Thanks to those people who said hello and they watched the channel, much appreciated. And yeah, everyone who sells up there or who was just up there buying, who I chatted to, good to see you all. So yeah, I mean I didn't intend to buy anything. I went up there and thought I probably won't buy anything all day, just go up there for the crack and have a couple of pints. But yeah, I ended up buying a couple of bits. One bit I did kind of arrange to buy before I got up there was this acrylic Sega sign. If I can just peel a bit of this off so you can actually see it. Yeah, I've got to peel all the stuff off, but this looks absolutely awesome. It was a guy called Nathan Russell who I chatted to on Facebook prior to going up, and he said he'd reserve one for me, and yeah, he did a good price on this for me. And yeah, it's just a massive acrylic Sega sign, really. Maybe I'll cut the video here and just peel that off so you guys can see it, because it does look awesome, and it's going to look great in the cabinet. So there we go, that's the sign all with the plastic all taken off. It does need a little bit of a clean, but look how fucking awesome is that. Absolutely awesome. It's going to sit on top of the Mega Drive games up there, pride of place at the top of the cabinet. Really chuffed to get that. These are so cool. He's doing some other ones. He's got Nintendo ones and Nintendo 64, and I don't know if he's planning some other ones, but that is just awesome. Really chuffed to get that. That was definitely a highlight of the day. So yeah, I'd arranged to pick it up from Nathan. I went and met him at his stall, and then I did come across this. Well, Scott came across this and just pulled it out of a little tub of toys and sort of said, do you want this? It was 3 quid. And this is a little Akuma Bust from Street Fighter. It looks like it's the 15th anniversary. Yeah, so that would have been what, 15 years ago or so. But yeah, little bust that can go in the cabinet. That's cool. And then yeah, just walking round, I kind of, it was late on Sunday and people were starting to pack up, and it was really quiet, and I thought, right, here we go, I'll go in really low on some stuff. So these two Game Gear games were on a stall, and I sort of said to the guy, would you take 20 for the pair? So we had Pop-Ills on the Game Gear. Now Pop-Ills was on my video, the 15 Game Gear exclusives. If you haven't seen that, check it out. But it's a Game Gear exclusive puzzle game. It's awesome, and I didn't have it in the collection, so I thought, yep, definitely grab that one. And then yeah, Fantasy Zone, which I think I have car only, so good to upgrade that to box. So I gave the guy 20 quid for the pair. And then next one was Super Space Invaders. It was a young lady on a stall. She had this up for a tenner, and I said, what's the cheapest you'll go on that? And she goes, 8, 7. I was happy to pay 7. I thought, should I go in at 6? But I thought, no, 7 quid's a good deal. I mean, I think it goes roughly 15 quid complete on eBay. So yeah, really nice condition. Happy to get that for 7 quid, Super Space Invaders. So yeah, nice to get a few Mega Drive games, Game Gear games, sorry. And yeah, again, always on the hunt for Mega CD. I looked at loads of stalls that had Mega CD games, but they usually had the same old tap. So they had like Soul Feast and Cobra Command, or they had Road Avenger and just stuff I've got. But Stu Tooty had this Sherlock Holmes up on his stall, marked up at a tenner, and I said, you know, sort of made a face, how much? And he said £5. So yeah, more than happy to pay a £5 for that. Cheers for that, Stu, good deal. So yeah, that was a purchase from Lizard Retro, aka Tooty. So yeah, haven't got Sherlock Holmes on the Mega CD. Haven't got either of them. There is a second one as well. So really chuffed to get a Mega CD game for a £5. This is actually the first thing I bought. Actually, I saw this and I thought, I'm going to buy this. It's just a PC Engine controller extension cable, and where I sit relative to the B&O in the game room, the PC Engine controllers aren't quite long enough to reach my little sofa bed here, so I I have to move the PC Engine slightly to the floor in the middle, and then the controller reaches me. So I have been on the hunt for a controller extension cable, so when I saw it I thought I'll definitely grab that. And then the last pickup from Doncaster, and also the last pickup from this video, is one that kind of came up by chance. So when I was in Blackpool, I went to a certain seller, who I won't mention, but it's a seller that's at all these events, and they had Don Patchy on the Saturn marked up at 45 quid, and I said, I'll give you 40, because I believe 40 is roughly what it goes for on eBay. And he said, no, 42. And I said, no, like, I'll give you 40. 40 is what I'm willing to pay. That's it. And he said, well, no, we're not going below 42. And I said, fine, see you later. And I walked away. You know, if you want to lose a sale over 2 quid, that's fine. I'm not going to say, oh, it's just 2 quid. I remember someone at the event actually said to me, oh, if you want to borrow 2 quid, I'll give it you. I said, no, I've got plenty of money on me, but it's the principle that I don't want to pay more than 40 quid for the game. I'd rather go on eBay and click buy it now, 40 quid, and not give the guy any money, you know, just for not coming down 2 quid. It's just the principle of the matter. So anyway, at Doncaster on Saturday, this same seller had Don Patchy, 45 quid. And I thought, I'm not even going to ask him how much it is. You know, I can't be asked for that. If I come across it, I come across it. And I was saying to Craig's here again, about the situation, like, I'm not going to ask how much it is, because it annoyed me that they wouldn't come down 2 quid, and I'm only paying 40 quid. And he said, oh, Jay has got Don Patchy in his bag for sale. So Jay Cybersnake 7 was there, and I said to Jay, have you got Saturn games for sale? And he said, yeah, he's getting rid of all his Saturn stuff. So he pulled out a few games, and he had Don Patchy in there, and he basically let me know my price, and I thought it'd be fair, 35 quid. And he said yes, so 35 quid, really chuffed to get Don Patchy. I have Don Patchy, but I've been after Don Patchy for a good while. Great games on the Saturn, really good fun, vertical shooters. So yeah, I was absolutely overjoyed, and how funny if I hadn't been chatting to Craig about that exact subject, I wouldn't have known that Jay was selling them. So yeah guys, I don't want this video to go on for ages and ages and ages. That was recent pickups, basically me getting them out of the way before I move everything. Next time you see me in the room, everything will probably be completely moved around and what have you. So yeah, wish me luck and thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon guys. Cheers.